name's Tracey Stroup. I am a naturopathic doctor. I also started out in the fitness industry. I have a bachelor's degree in exercise science. I was there for 15 years. Oh, am I too loud?
Just move around.
All right. Who's advancing my slides? Alrighty then. How many people here use supplements? Okay, how many use them specifically for fitness? How many people see some sort of functional medicine naturopathic doctor? Okay. So I will tell you with the quality of our food today, the poor growing practices, how nutrient depleted it is. Unless you eat 4,500 plus calories a day, there's no way you can even get the recommended daily allowance that the FDA says is what you need. You know what I call RDAs? Really dumb amounts. 400 IUs of vitamin D is what they recommend for people like you. What did the CDC recommend when COVID hit? Does anybody know?
5,000?
10,000. They did a study. They said 10,000 IUs a day of vitamin D actually will stop you from getting COVID. Most of the people that succumbed to that virus were vitamin D deficient, 88% that had the virus and died. Most of them had comorbidities, were overweight, on numerous medications, 78.6 years old. What's the average death age in our country? 78.6 years old, so not much has changed. So I have to give my disclaimer. This is for informational purposes only. It does not replace the recommendation of your licensed medical professional. Amen. Next slide. Okay, so just a little bit about me. Those are my boys. The big one is my oldest boy. No, I'm just kidding. That's my husband, but he's like my third child. I have a bachelor's of science and exercise science. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm also a certified digestive specialist from the Loomis Institute. I have about 25 years in the industry. I'm also the vice president of education and marketing at Nutritional Frontiers. And we are a supplement company out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I flew in, sacrificed myself to come here to your beautiful sunshiny state from Pennsylvania, where it rains more than Seattle. So I'm also a wife, a mom, and I love Jesus. So that's where I start my foundation from. Thank you. That's right. Because go Jesus. Thank you, right? But I'm also a natural health business consultant. But when I was in fitness, which I had my own studio, and I was the largest personal training studio in Blair County, I beat out Bally's, I beat out everybody. I trained over 250 people a week with 5 other trainers. So we were a huge facility. But what I noticed was people would get to a point, they would lose weight, they would gain it back, or they would get to a point where they would overtrain and quit gaining their gains. And so I thought there has to be more. So when I got married and had kids, I went back and got my ND degree. And that's where that functional weight management came in for me, because I saw how many people seek out a chiropractor January 1st to lose weight? Naturopathic doctor, functional medicine practitioner. How many seek out a gym or a personal trainer? Right. Do you know how many people stop working out by March 2nd? 70% of people that join gyms in January. Why? It's not working. Do you know that we make up 5% of the population in the world, and we consume 70% of the pharmaceuticals created in the entire world, the United States? So 5% of the population consumes 70% of the pharmaceuticals. We are 37th in health. We have the highest healthcare costs of any country. We are the fattest, sickest country in the world with the absolute best medical care. The issue is we don't worry about being sick until we don't feel good, right? We only value our health when we no longer have it. So everybody in this room right now is ahead of the game, because right now you are valuing your health. But the one thing that I think people miss in the fitness industry is the right nutrients at the right time. When you get stuck, what's happening? What do I need to put in? What do I need to take out? How do I nutrify the body? How can I get more gains? And that's what this gym is doing. It's setting itself apart as a one-stop shop for you, where you can get all of the exercise, all of the fitness, all of the toning, all of the planning, all of the nutrition, and then what they're adding on top of it is the strategic nutrition. And that's what's going to set them apart and set you apart in your fitness goals. So this was stats from COVID. 68% were snacking more. 74% of people were cooking more at home. But if you look all the way to the end, half of the people that were in quarantine gained weight. 54% of people gained 15 to 20 pounds or more the quarantine 15 as it was called, right? So what happened during COVID? Everyone says, cook more at home, right? Because if you're gonna cook more at home, that's better for you. Don't eat out as much. Well, they weren't. And half of the people gained weight. What weren't they doing? Moving. Nobody was exercising. The same amount of people that were exercising less gained the weight. So movement is key. How many people eat an organic, 100% non-genetically modified diet in this room? Okay. So the first foundation is nutrition. How many people drink half your body weight in good purified water every single day? Okay, give yourself a check, right? How many people sleep through the night, don't wake up for any reason whatsoever, even to pee? Okay, how many people suffer with sleep issues? How many people wake up multiple times through the night? That's adrenal burnout. See me afterwards, we'll get you on something. How many people exercise 3 to 5 days a week for 30 minutes or more? Good job, guys. And how many people do something for their emotional and spiritual wellness? Okay, how many people have no stress? And everybody should have their hand up except that guy right there who's now my new best friend. Everybody see him afterwards. He's got the key. All right? Okay, so here's the reason you gain weight, guys. Deficiency. Every process in your body requires nutrition. B vitamins, C vitamins, A, D, K. You can go down the alphabet. And you need them at the optimal amount for you, not the really dumb amount that the FDA recommends. 400 IUs of vitamin D offsets rickets. How many people do you know has rickets? No one? Yeah, because it's a dumb amount. But do you know when they did studies on breast cancer, if they could get somebody's blood serum level of vitamin D to 50 to 65, it offsets 70% of breast cancers. Did you hear that on CNN? Now, we're not hearing the truth. You're only going to get the truth when you come to places like this that are going to offer you the truth. I have no PowerPoint. Toxicity. Who is this guy? I'm just kidding. He's sabotaging me. Are you from the FDA?
He's a techie guy.
Wait a minute. Oh, what happened? That looks good. What? Get rid of that. Mix it up. All right, toxicity. I'm going to go from memory. If something's in the way of your body's ability to detox, that's important. How many people have a bowel movement every single day without any issues whatsoever? We're going to talk about poop here. This is how close we are. Come on, hands up. Everybody poops. We know it. If you're not, the colon will absorb 80% of your toxins of your body. If you're not getting them out, guess where they're going? Back in. And if you hear something like, oh, well, that's just your normal, get a new doctor. That's not your normal. Unless you're eating every other day or every 3 days, when you're having these every other day bowel movements or every 3 days, you need a new physician. You should be having a bowel movement 3 times a day minimum. And if you're having 1 or 2, that's great. But if you're not, then you need to see the guy with no stress. He'll help you out. I'm just kidding. Come see me, I'll help you out. All right, inflammation. Anybody ever sprain their ankle? Guys, inflammation is good, okay? I don't want everyone to think that our body does something wrong. Your body is set up by our Creator to save your life. If you sprain your ankle and you can't move, it's for a reason. It's saying, stop moving, you're hurting me. Well, if you're eating McDonald's every day when you leave the gym and you're getting inflammation in your gut and then all of a sudden you have heartburn, you go to the doctor, what does he do? He gives you a prescription for heartburn. Does he tell you to quit eating the junk? No, you don't hear that. They just script you and off you go. Me, you come to me, I'd be like, I slapped a cheeseburger out of your hand. I'd be like, oh. Can you go back one slide, please? So toxicity is big, and we don't think about it in terms of our environment, what we put into our bodies, the toxicity in food, the medications that we take, the people we're around. Come on, you're thinking of someone right now who's a toxic person, right? You get around her, you're like, God, I hate her. She's so negative all the time. Hormone imbalance. This is huge, guys. Insulin is a hormone. Thyroid, hormone. Okay, there's lots of hormones. Prostate, estrogen. Everybody has hormones. There's 36 of them in your body. When they're imbalanced, it is going to affect your endocrine system. That affects your metabolic rate, your thyroid, how fast you utilize fat, how fast you utilize energy. So if you are doing all the things and you're not losing weight, you might need to optimize your endocrine system, your hormone balance. And my overtrainers in here are like, I work out 7 days a week. If there was one more day in the week, I'd work out that day too. That's adrenal burnout, okay? Eventually it catches up with you because you can't get enough ATP to recover, and your body starts to break down your own muscle tissue. It starts to use your own reserves of nutrition. So there is a flip side to people that can't lose weight and those people that are like powerhouses. Did you know that the people that passed from COVID, the ones that were real lean and in shape, they didn't have enough ATP to actually rebuild after COVID. They actually could not heal themselves because an RNA virus, which is what COVID was, utilizes ATP to replicate itself. And so they were sicker longer, or they couldn't recover, or they had long-term fatigue. Luckily, some of those people knew me and texted me, and I was like, D-ribose, right? Everybody knows about D-ribose, right? It's a great supplement for ATP production and muscle recovery. It's in a lot of the products that we're going to talk about tonight. So, not yet. So underlying issues creating immune, viruses, bacteria. Guys, if you don't put enough money in your savings account, and you go up to the ATM every time you're sick and you take money out, you take money out, you take money out, you take money out, eventually you have no money in the bank left. And you won't be able to recover. And it'll come out as something different. I always say to people, weight is not something you lose. It is a sign that something in your body is not working properly. You either have garbage going in and garbage is coming out, or you're doing all the right things and there's an imbalance, there's a deficiency, there's a toxicity, there's a hormone imbalance, there's inflammation, there's something going on. The beautiful thing is you can see it. Your body's giving you a sign. It's saying, hey, I don't like something that's going on. Cancer you can't see. So I always tell people, be fortunate that it landed on your butt because you know that there's something that you need to fix. It is a good thing, okay? And we're going to talk about that. And then, medications. Guys, when we consume 70% of the medications produced in the entire world as only 5% of the population, there's something wrong with our disease management system, okay? It's not a healthcare system. That's insulting to my profession to call what they do healthcare. It's disease management. They go after acute issues, which is what it was established for and what those medical practitioners are trained for. They're not trained for chronic care. They're not trained to take a diabetic and walk him through a lifestyle program. There's 3.6 million diabetics in this world. 1.6 of them are type 1, which means all the other millions of diabetics can be cured 98% of the time by lifestyle. So we have 98% of people, of 3.4 million people that are on medications that don't have to be, because they're not talking to them about supplements, they're not talking to them about exercise, they're just writing them metformin. And now they have to write a metformin, statins, and a blood pressure medication, because if they don't do that, they won't get reimbursed by their insurance company. So doctors have to script those 3 things now, while Highmark says, we're not paying for that appointment. How do you like that for healthcare? Didn't know that, right? They don't let doctors be doctors. Insurance companies rule. That's why the treatment protocols were handed down for COVID the way they were. Not because the doctors wanted to do it, because the powers that be said, if you don't do it this way, we won't reimburse you. And that's how it works. So if you want real health care, you have to invest in it. I promise you this, your health will either be an investment or an expense. It's your choice where you want to spend the money. Okay? You have a choice when you're healthy to value it today and say, I'm going to do the right things for my body so that I don't end up having to pay for it when I can't work, when I'm sick, when I don't feel good. So you can count calories, you can cut them, you can exercise, you can starve yourself, but it's not going to fix your deficiency, it won't fix your toxicity, it's not going to take care of your hormone imbalance, it's not going to take care of the newest medications, some of them lifestyle will overcome, but you need to optimize your nutrition. Go ahead, go forward. So lose gain, depletion, overtraining, these are all things that we all deal with, right? The body becomes depleted, it can't recover as it once did. Trust me, when I work out now at 47 years old, it's not like when I was 20 and I had my gym. I was like 6 days a week just doing pull-ups. I was like, yeah, I was lean, I could cut everything so easy. I wake up this morning, I was like, I didn't sleep in my own bed. I was like, what happened to my back? So it's just what happens, right? Your body starts to break down. So that's a sign to me, because that's not normal. If we start thinking like, 47, it's just normal to have back pain, then I just accept sickness. And I'm just not willing to do that. So I have to check myself. What did I do? What did I eat? What did I drink? What do I need? Right? Got it. So we're going to talk a little bit about fat cells. How many people love your fat? You're going to love your fat when you leave here. Everybody sitting here is like ATP potential. That's what we are. That's what fat is. It's good. It has so many functions. It regulates your body temperature. It controls your hormones. It balances your blood sugar. It's part of your immune system. We've demonized it, and we say things like, I've got to burn calories, I've got to burn fat. Okay, newsflash. You can't burn fat. I'm going to take that term, throw it out of your mouth. I was allowed to say that in my presence because it's biochemically impossible. You have a set number of fat cells by the time you're 22 years old. You determine how big or small they get depending on how much stuff you store in them. You can store energy, you can store toxins, you can store all kinds of stuff in fat because if God put it everywhere, it's probably for a reason. Your brain is a blob of fat with some neurotransmitters in it. Your spine is fat. You have fat everywhere. It's kind of like dandelions. They're one of the most healthy, nutritious, nutrient-dense plants you can eat. And we kill them with Roundup. But God put them everywhere. They have vitamin A, D, K. They're great for digestion, joint pain. They do all kinds of stuff. My grandma used to eat dandelion sounds. I thought she was a lunatic. Not just for that, she was a little crazy. But other than that. But she used to eat them. I'm like, ew. Like, my dad sprays those, you know? So now we know that Roundup can just kill you, but dandelions save you. So the world's backwards. It's upside down. So fat makes up every single membrane of every cell you have. Every single one. Every cell that you are is surrounded in fat. It's important, so we're going to learn to love it. Go ahead. Kind of sad you can't burn fat. So this is kind of what they look like. These are really specialized structures that have energy. Go ahead and go to the next slide. Okay, this is all the things they do. What they throw to the blood are called adipokines. They're proteins. You guys know what protein is, right? How do you optimize fat cells then? What do you need to take in? Protein. If they need to throw protein into your blood in order to do things like balance your blood sugar, see insulin, resistance in there, angiotensin, leptin, that's what makes you not hungry. When you have enough leptin, right? Ghrelin makes you hungry, leptin balances your blood. You have angiotensin, there's estrogen, ladies. That's why we have more fat than men. When your fat gets too low as a woman, you start to deplete your hormone function. You age faster being too lean. Well, I know I'm killing you guys, but I'm just letting you know that this whole push for vanity has really destroyed our health. Look at our culture. Are we healthier today than we were 50 years ago? For the first time ever in our history, our life expectancy dropped. It dropped. What's happened? We got all the things. We got all the gyms. We got all the hospitals. We got all the drugs. And we're dying younger. It's kind of sad. TNF-alpha, interleukin-6, you know what that is? That's the cytokine storm. Remember the cytokine storm? In COVID, you're going to have a cytokine storm. That's what happened. People that were overweight were already throwing out inflammation. They were already sick, and then they got a virus, and they couldn't shut it off. Good. The fat is actually good. So you can see it has its own little vascular system. It makes your T cells, your B cells. Go ahead to the next slide. There's more ATP in a fat cell than any other part of your body. 2,000 to 15,000 mitochondria per little fat cell. Now, if we could make them healthy, can you imagine what they would do for you? This is how fat stores. It's 1 glycerol and 3 triglycerides. Or three fatty acids. That's a triglyceride. Anyone ever had blood work done and they say your triglycerides are high, right? So what do they tell you? I gotta put you on a statin. I gotta put you on medication. Triglycerides. Instead of saying, hey, you know, you might have some inflammation somewhere because your fat cells are rupturing. And when your fat cells rupture, it's because they're swollen and they cut down on all that vascularity around them and they die. And you throw out these triglycerides and then they give you medication rather than saying, your fat cells are sick. We need to optimize health. Okay. So the one on the left, that's a healthy person. That's, you know, lean, probably 5 pounds, maybe overweight. All the fat cells are intact. They don't die. All the way to the right is an obese person. Now, in the middle is 15 pounds overweight. So at 15 pounds overweight, you start throwing out inflammatory markers into your blood. The fat says fire. and it starts throwing out all this inflammation. Where does that inflammation go? You guys know? Everywhere. And wherever you're weakest is where it'll affect you. You have weak brain in your family, it's going to affect your brain. You've got weak heart, it's going there. Kidneys, go in there. So it'll go wherever you're weak. Or maybe you're nutrient deficient. Maybe you have enough omegas for your brain. Maybe you're not supporting your adrenals and your kidneys with enough B vitamins. So these signals can get loud real quick. People that are obese, what happens is there's fat cells when they blow up. You actually get macrophage activity. Your immune system kicks in. So now you have this immune response for no reason, and then along comes a virus. What's your immune system doing over here? It's distracted. And so you got sick. People get sick all the time, right? Or you can go into a comorbidity. You can end up with things like diabetes, cardiovascular disease. Those are all lifestyle results. They're all curable, 98% of them with lifestyle, all of them. Click. So this is a dead fat cell. It's actually a picture. Go ahead, next one. So this is normal fat cells versus inflamed. People that are 15 pounds or more overweight, you have a 45% higher inflammation factor than people that are not overweight. And so you're already inflamed. You're already causing all kinds of disruption. And so that's why it's important that you're here. Because not only will the exercise help you, but also the nutrition will help you, because there's things that we can put in that make these guys healthier. Not fat burners. I mean, that's the sad thing about the fitness industry is the terminology that's used. Optimize fat burn. It's like, no, optimize your health. That's what we're doing. We're making these guys not so sick so that your inflammation comes down and you lose weight, right? But basically you lose inflammation is what you're losing. Go ahead, next slide. So you're not fat, you're inflamed. I'm serious. I want everyone to just put that, you're not fat, you're inflamed. There's a metabolic dysfunction somewhere, and it can be fixed. I promise you, I've helped thousands of people, and not just for weight. I've had chronic Lyme, cancer, those are all inflammation. Cardiovascular, diabetes, all inflammation. Weight's just something that people see. It's like you wear your dysfunction, right? And guys, I grew up a very fat little child. Up until I was in college, I was way overweight, and I just never knew. And it took me a long time as a trainer and cutting down and starving myself and these regimented diets and all this stuff. When I finally was like, hang on, food is medicine, and I'm going to find out everything I can about it and put only the good things in my body, and then I'm going to fill gaps with nutrition. I'm going to optimize my fat cells. I'm going to try to do this. And I've not had weight problems since. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have 2 little boys. I'm 47 years old. I started late. My husband's 53 though. He's going to be like on his AARP card by the time he gets on high school. But he plays wiffle ball, football, or on travel ball teams. And if I sit on the floor, it's like WWE in my living room. Like they just jump on you and try to kill you. So I'm serious. Like I leave there and I'm like, thank God I get a break for 2 days. But they're 11 and 7, and they're very active little kids. But I have to be in good health because they're 11 and 7 and I'm 47. So I got some time here that I got to be with them. So it's not just about, and so I don't work out like I used to in my mind, but I'd like to. That's next on my list of getting back into that. So that's mostly where I fail. So we all have our things. So I don't want you to think I'm up here and I'm like, I do everything perfect. I don't. And I like wine, so there's that. I like wine. I like Jesus and wine. He likes wine. I walk around, I'm like, Jesus touched my water. That's what happened. So when you have inflammation, right, you get chronic disease eventually. Whatever you want to say on the right side of the screen, whatever code they put on your insurance form, the root of it is inflammation. The root of it is you getting healthier with nutrition and movement and hydration and sleep and good emotional wellness and all the things. Next slide. All right, so this is just different pictures of fat. That's central adenoid fat, visceral fat. Hey, Lynn, you're going to get fired. Okay, next one. She gets nervous. Anyway, girls, if you are a pair, that's estrogen imbalance. Guys, if you have visceral fat, or women, that's insulin imbalance. That's an endocrine dysfunction. People that are pear-shaped is more estrogen dominance. People that have a barrel chest, that is more insulin. Okay, so you have issues with hormones, and that can be optimized by using certain products. Okay, next one. All right, so we came up with some kits based on what the trainers and Gretchen and her audience may want. I actually put this kit together because of a few reasons. One, I don't like pills. I know I work for a supplement company. I'm not a salesman, obviously. I'm just their education person. I don't like a lot of capsules. I don't like to take somebody from heavy pharmaceuticals to heavy supplements. I mean, what's the point, right? So what I try to do is get them delivery systems that you can do that are tasty and healthy. So I like shakes. I don't know, anybody drink shakes in here? Okay. So there's 2 shakes in this kit. One is the Proline Greens, and the other one is Power Cleanse. I don't particularly like the name Power Cleanse, but it is what it is. Sounds tough. It's real gentle though. Okay, so most shakes miss 1 or 2 things. Number 1, they don't have the right forms of what you're trying to absorb. They don't have the right amounts, or they have too much. I mean, I've seen protein shakes with 50, 80, 100 grams of protein. It's a waste of money. Your body can't use that all in one sitting. It just can't. You want to take that shake, drink it through the day. You'll utilize it better. Don't drink it in one sitting. The other thing is chew your shakes. Anybody chew their shakes? Right? Oh, you can hear that in the mic. It's the little thing to my life. So when you chew your shakes, you're activating enzymes. And the enzymes then come out for protein. And it'll help you utilize that protein, break it down, and absorb it better, okay? Low enzymatic action is one of the biggest things in gyms because people are like stuffing protein, but you don't have the enzymatic action for it. And so you're taking all this protein, all these protein shakes, and all this chicken, and all this, and I'm doing all the right things, and all of a sudden you're getting bloated, you're gassy, you always feel like you're so full, and it's because you can't break that protein down because protein's a really hard thing to break down. So you gotta chew your food, or you can utilize enzymes, which will help break the protein down and make it available for your body. So Power Cleanse is a shake that is a full macronutrient. You have protein, carbs, and fats in the right forms, in the right amounts. It's not an isolate, it's a concentrate. We don't use isolates because isolates are one part of what the whole matrix is. Next slide. It also has a full vitamin and mineral panel in it at the right forms, not the really dumb amounts, okay? We're not going with the RDA, we go with therapeutic doses. Because if we're working with athletes, trust me, you're using more than 25 micrograms of B vitamins during your workout. You need more. You need a push, or you need a recovery. So this is a full macronutrient, micronutrient, and we use what's called Trax albion minerals. These are bonded minerals. Guys, the stuff that you buy in the big box stores that are minerals, it's a waste of money. Because trust me, when I was on the other side of the supplement bottle, when I just did consults, when I came to this side, I was like, wow, the lies that they can tell you and then sell you. Because B vitamins are the most expensive thing to put in a multi. And if you turn Centrum around, which is the #1 selling multi in the world, it is nasty, thank you. It's a tablet. And when they did x-rays of people who took Centrum, it was in the digestive system 3 days before they pooped it out. Because they can't break it down, because it's the wrong form. Their body doesn't know what it is. So we use what's called biofolate. This is the most activated form of B vitamins on the market. It is already in the most bioavailable form. It's important. I know you guys are thinking like, this is not important. Yes, it is. Stress uses B vitamins. What is exercise to your body? What are you doing? It's stress. You have food sensitivities, you're stressing your body. If you stinking thinking, right? Oh, I can't pay that bill, I gotta go for work, you're using B vitamins. They are water soluble, you need them every single day of your life, and if you're not taking them every day, you need to. Unless you live in the bubble or you live with that guy. And then it has a proprietary detox matrix. Wow, that's a lot of terms, right? It means it takes all of your toxins from your body and it converts them into water soluble. Anything fat soluble that's stuck in your brain, that's stuck in your spine, that's stuck in your muscles, and any parts of your body, and it converts them, and through phase 3, it helps you excrete them from your body. Remember our conversation about poop that was so awkward a little bit ago? Well, now it's relevant because phase 3 is actually a process of detox. If you're not pooping, you are already sick because your colon absorbs everything back into your body. That's why you poop out little rabbit pebbles, right? You're dehydrated, your colon took all the water out. You should be pooping smooth bananas every single day. I'm just gonna say it. Listen, we can talk about poop more later. Go ahead. So there's this little genetic snippet called MTHFR. Anybody know what that is? You have it? Mm-hmm. Which one are you?
5.
You're 5, okay. So there's all different kinds of genetic SNPs out there because we have done such horrible things to our food like glyphosate, okay? We've just chemically killed ourselves up to this point. We are now being genetically modified, okay? If you genetically modified food, you put that in your body, it's gonna genetically modify you. It's just the way it is. Garbage in, garbage out, how it works, okay? So with Power Cleanse, that right form of the B vitamins goes around that mutation and you actually get the full benefit. And so you will produce enough glutathione, you will have enough energy, because people with MTHFR, they can't break down B vitamins anymore. And so they can't produce this cool thing called glutathione. Anybody ever know someone who had cardiovascular disease and they tested them for homocysteine in the blood? Okay, that's usually a marker for cardiovascular disease. Do you see where it says homocysteine there on the screen in the second circle on the right? Okay, that's a byproduct. That's like lactic acid of your muscles, right? Your muscles, you're working out, you get lactic acid, and then you can't pick the weight up anymore, it's like burning, and then your body throws it into the Krebs cycle, and then all of a sudden you can do more weights. That's the same thing that happens here, except this is a process of rebuilding your cells. So there's a byproduct to it. The issue is it doesn't convert, and it becomes toxic in your system, and can create cardiovascular distress. So one of the things that this product does is actually help convert that down. Just like D-ribose helps convert lactic acid for your muscles, right? So it's the same thing. So just click that twice. Okay, so lean greens is another thing that we utilized in this kit. And this is important for ladies because it's a superfood. This is gonna help balance your hormones. Men, this is gonna help you absorb protein, carbohydrates, and fats better because this works directly with the liver. That process is called lipolysis, where your fat actually uses the energy inside of it, okay? So remember that 1 glycerol and 3 fats that come together, the triglyceride? That's where your energy comes from. Your body throws it to the blood, it breaks apart, and it becomes energy, and your body uses it. That's what happens during intermittent fasting, right? If you're on a ketogenic diet, what do you eat when you're on a ketogenic diet? Fat. You eat all fat, right? 75% fat or more. That's because it's making your fat cells healthier, so you lose weight. Is it a lifestyle? No. Is it a lifestyle when you're eating nitrate-laden bacon and cheese with like all kinds of red dyes and crap in it? No, it's not a lifestyle. So it's kind of like paleo. It's like, our ancestors ate like paleo. They were like, yeah, I made paleo brownies and paleo cookies. I was like, I can totally see the cavemen doing that. I'm like, what just happened? So that's our whole culture, right? We take something we know is good and then we just like, we must be excessive with it. We don't. We can just do what's good for each one of us. We don't have to be excessive. Comparison is the death of joy. You're not like the person next to you. You don't have the same genetics, the same cultural background, the same environment that you grew up. You don't even have the same beliefs. So why would the same diet work for everybody? Why would the same recommended daily allowances work for everybody, right? Sounds really dumb now, huh? Those really dumb amounts, get rid of them. They're stupid. Next one. Sorry, FDA. Okay. So skip through that. And one more. All right, that's glutathione. Next one. Glutathione is your major antioxidant in your body. If you had enough glutathione in your body, you would have no chronic disease. But what happens is you can't optimize it. And this is also a chelator. For people that have seen functional medicine practitioners, have you been told you have heavy metals yet? Yeah? They'll get to that. Don't worry. They'll be like, you have heavy metals. And you'll be like, how did I get heavy metals? It's too much Metallica. The 80s, they were better. Spirulina and chlorella, if you have fillings in your mouth, you have heavy metals. If you have ever drank tap water, you have heavy metals. If you've ever eaten any type of meat that was not organic, you have heavy metals. We all do. The issue with them is that they store in fat and your body can't chelate them out. So this product can actually move them, and when you take it with the Power Cleanse, it'll move out of your body. And so heavy metals are known, next slide, to decrease ATP, to cause things like Alzheimer's, dementia. That's most of the things that they find in the brain of people who have Alzheimer's is heavy metals. It can activate lots of other things. Go ahead, next slide. Keep going. Keep going. There it is. Heavy metal, Metallica destroys ATP. That says. Next slide. I like Metallica today, and Mesa. So there's some other colors out there, and these are actually like powdered drinks. So you just take a scoop, put it in your shaker cup with some ice and water, and they taste really good. Guys, please stop giving kids Gatorade. Please, I'm just gonna beg all of you today. It is crap. It's not even an absorbable form. When it first came out in the 60s, it actually was okay. It tasted like salt. And guess who bought it? Coca-Cola. And what'd they do? We gotta put some red dyes in there and some oranges. Now we got the zebra, we got the plus, minus, flood, the negative. I don't even know. So my kids are normal kids. They like pizza, they want Gatorade. So I just take the Gatorade bottle, I throw the oranges in there for John. I mix it up, I put it in the freezer. He takes it to practice every day. I don't tell him, I fly. I'm like, yeah, it's Gatorade. That doesn't taste different. Get to practice. Yeah. Little DMG in there. He's like, a little mega athlete. But you can use these as optimal nutrition. Who has time to get their 5 fruits and vegetables in every day, right? You can't. It's impossible. Even if you try, it's really hard. So you can utilize a scoop of each every day and have all your fruits and vegetables and your hydration, and the kids actually will drink it. Not so much the greens. I'm not going to lie to you. The kids will not drink the greens. Unless you hide them in the shake and you say the Hulk made it, it works that way. But they will drink the reds and the oranges and the purples. And if you can use them strategically like that, it's really healthy for their brain. But Gatorade is bad. Okay, next slide. So Slim and Tone Kit. This one's actually pretty cool because this is where you make your fat cells healthier. Because now we have nutrified, detoxified, and your body is ready now to get healthy because you got everything out of the way and you filled all the gaps that were starving to wait for nutrition to try to get something so it could do a process. So we got the Slim and Tone Kit. And this is probably for a lot of people here have maybe hit the plateau, not really sure what's going on, you've been doing so good, or you've been working out for a while doing the same thing, right? And all of a sudden you're gaining a little bit of weight and you're like, hey, wait a second, I didn't change anything. Well, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So you can't expect a different result unless you do something different. And probably what you need is after long-term exercising, you haven't put the right nutrients in to help push the body to that next level. Go ahead, next slide. So we came up with 3 products, CLA, Garcinia, and Barytone. Next slide. And this is what's called thermogenesis. This is where this whole concept of burning fat came from. You're not burning fat, you're optimizing your fat cells. Your body creates heat when you exercise. Why does it do that? You do this? It's called friction. You got a lot of bones and joints moving, your body's gonna get hotter. Okay? It's also fueling processes. It's like your car. Your car drives from here to home, you touch the engine, it's gonna be hot. Okay? Calories are one of the biggest hoaxes that we like to sell you. It's a measure of heat. It's like saying, hey, let's go burn some Fahrenheits. Come on. How about some Celsiuses? You want to go around the treadmill? How many Celsiuses you burn? It's a measure of heat. It doesn't make any sense. But when your body temperature goes up, it's trying to kill things. Exercise is detox. That's what it does. It detoxes your fat cells. It detoxes your brain. It detoxes your emotions. You create endorphins and all kinds of things like serotonin, dopamine, all those good feely hormones. When you walk out of here, you're like, hey, freaking awesome, right? That's why it feels good, because your brain is clear. You ever hear people say, like, I just feel better when I exercise, and you can think, right? There's a reason for that. So CLA, this is actually a cool product. This has different things that are going to help with optimizing those fatty acids inside the cell and get them out and utilize them as energy. So this is a really incredible product that you can use every day to help optimize fat until you reach your health goal. Because it's not making your body burn anything, it's utilizing what your body has for energy. So it fills some gaps hormonally so that your body can use energy. Next slide. And then Barytone. Actually, Barytone became famous when Dr. Oz said raspberry ketones. I just wish you'd say my name one time. Just say my name. You know, like anything that man says, everyone's like, oh, I gotta go buy that. There was such a rush on the market for raspberry ketones when he said it, we couldn't keep it in stock. But it has more than that. It has white mulberry, green tea extract. Guys, all of these herbs in this formula optimize your endocrine system. That's what it's doing. It's going to help you regulate your insulin through workouts. It's going to help you regulate your insulin after workouts. So when you work out, right after your workout, what do they tell you to do? Eat. Eat what? Eat cake? Who's going to eat cake? Protein. Why are you eating protein? I'm going to tell you it's for your muscles, right? Or build muscle. Your body weighs your muscle. No, because your body's hormone system is disrupted. Your insulin is down. And your body's going to go scavenge protein so that it can bring your insulin up and balance your endocrine system. It will take from your muscles to do that. So that's why you eat protein. If you put in products like this a couple of times a day, it will help you lose less muscle mass even through harder workouts. Does that make sense? Okay, next slide. Keep going. We don't need to go through all this stuff. Lots of cool stuff. There's the raspberry ketones made famous by Dr. Oz. This is Garcinia. Everyone's probably heard of Garcinia. This actually cleaves the enzymes that play a role in that lipolysis. So, what are you doing?
It's my energy.
You are hot. Your Celsius is up. So, it actually tells the enzyme to push energy out and for you to use it. And when you're using energy from your fat cells, they are getting smaller. You are balancing all your hormones. Things are happy. Guys, most of the time, weight is not a weight issue. It's not a too much food issue. You know, we try to cut calories to lose weight. It's an archaic model. It's old. You can't take your nutrition away and expect your body to do something. If you are on a calorie-restricted diet, that's why you need to utilize shakes and supplements because it'll fill the gaps of nutrition. You cannot get all your nutrients from 1,500 calories a day. It's impossible. You're going to go into depletion. And eventually your weight will stop and you'll have to cut more calories or exercise more. And so if I told you your leg is broken, but I'm not going to put a cast on it, but I want you to exercise it every day until it gets better, it will get better. It's just going to be a very slow, painful process. And we don't have to sell it that way anymore. We don't have to make exercise, depletion, deprivation, I don't want to go tonight. We should want to walk in here and be like, I'm glad I'm here because I'm investing in my health. And I took my supplements today. I'm going to have a killer workout. And man, all my goals are being hit because I'm nutrient dense and toxin free. But that's not how we do it. And that's not how most gyms do it. But that's not how this gym does it. This gym knows. And that's what sets them apart. This thing is trippy. Yes. So this is the build kit. This is for people that have kind of hit that place where they're like, man, I'm just not getting the gains I was anymore. Or you're not recovering from your workouts as fast. You have longer soreness. You're noticing that your strength might be going down a little bit. BCAAs, which are branched chain amino acids, there's 20 amino acids, 9 of which are essential. And essential means you can't make them in your body, so you have to eat them. So those 9 essential amino acids you get from eating protein. The 3 of those are called branched chain amino acids. And what they do is they actually accelerate the energy into the muscle so that it can recover. So it's really important that we're able to break protein down. How many people are on any type of acid reducer right now? Okay. So when you are repressing acid in your stomach, I'm going to give you the trade secret. You never have too much acid in your stomach. It is so rare that you have too much acid. Most of the time, your acid is too low. And hydrochloric acid actually stimulates the pancreas to release enzymes so that you can digest well. So when they give you an acid reducer, what they have just done is took the acidity of that hydrochloric acid and decreased it. Now it's alkaline. Your hydrochloric acid sterilizes your food. Comes into your stomach, you got mechanical digestion, it's cleaning it, sterilizing it. There's lots of crap on our food. Pathogens, viruses, parasites. Don't watch any YouTube videos, that's terrible. Nightmares. But when you take those acid reducers, since you're not getting the right enzymes, you're not getting the right collagen formation. You're not breaking down the protein. And eventually, over time, it leads to an issue. Most of the issues that you see with long-term PPIs or acid reducers or cardiovascular issues are brain issues, because those are the two biggest things that need to be rebuilt. How long should you be on an acid reducer? What's the insert say? Does anybody know? Has anybody ever read the insert of any prescription that you got? 2 weeks. 2 weeks is what's recommended in that insert. How many people have ever gone to the doctors and the doctor says, but it only take this 2 weeks? Never. I know people that have been on acid reducers for 50 years. And you know what else they're on? 7 different cardiovascular medicines for X, Y, and Z. So it's not the long-term solution. Branched-chain amino acids are an easy way to get past that right now until you can get off of those acid reducers and you can get the right proteins into your body and the right fuel into your muscles until you can work with somebody to get off the PPIs or the acid reducers. Okay? It's also a great way just to go biohack around and really give you optimal recovery. And then, yes, you have to have protein with it. So if you don't take in enough protein or eat enough protein, add a protein shake. Now I'm just going to flip through these real quick. Go ahead, Lynn. So those are the Frontier BCAAs. So we do a 4-to-1 ratio. So 4-to-1, meaning 4 of the BCAAs versus 1 of the glutamine, which is also in there. So people ask, when do you take it? You can take it after your workout. I wouldn't recommend taking it at night because it's not a standalone glutamine and it might give you a little bit of energy. Next slide. Keep going. Okay. There. So these are the 4 shakes we have. I'll just tell you real quick the difference. The one on the far left is a best whey protein. It's a lactose-free whey. So even if you can't do milk, most people do fine with this. I'm not going to say all, but most people do. Okay? It's grass-fed organic cows. So there are no hormones, antibiotics, genetically modified, nothing in there. It's pure protein. Okay? It is just a protein supplement. Super Shake is our vegan option because, of course, you know, people were like, do you have a vegan option? Yes, we do. We have Super Shake. So this is a full meal replacement. It's from pumpkin and pea protein, a little bit of rice. Most vegan supplements in the market are going to be made from rice, which is going to make you feel full, and people get bloated, they get stomach crampy, and all kinds of things like that. And then we do have a keto shake. It's absolutely yummy. It's very creamy and frothy. It's very filling. And, you know, the big thing I tell people is don't get stuck on one. You know, there's a lot of times that I'll take the power cleanse, but I feel like I need more protein. And so I'll throw like a scoop of the best whey in there with it. Okay, and the power cleanse we went over, that's your full macronutrients, that's all your protein, carbs, and fat, full meal replacement, full vitamin. I take power cleanse and lean greens every day as my multi, and I'm done for the day. Sometimes I'll take some extra D or extra this or extra that, but that's my everyday shake because I live on this earth and it's extremely toxic every single day. And I want to make sure that I have optimal glutathione, I have all my vitamins and minerals, I have all my superfoods. And then I add to it whatever I think I need more of. Ladies, don't be afraid of the keto shake. You need more fat. You really do. It's so good for your brain and your hormones. So keto is great for strategic placement of optimizing things like healthy fat cells. You want to lose weight? Feed your fat cells. You won't be sorry. Go ahead. So this was actually a study done. And what it said, go to the next slide because it's really small. What this study said was nutrition alone has a better effect than exercise on weight loss and long-term weight management. Nutrition alone. But if you get to that point where you're at a healthy weight and then you exercise with it, those people stayed thin their whole life. So we have it backwards. We walk into a gym and we're all ready to exercise. And I remember a lady walking into my studio. She butted out a cigarette, threw a McDonald's bag in a trash can, and walked in and said, I'm here to train with you. I was like, oh God. I was like, all right. I was like, we gotta have a talk. So, but people just don't know how much food affects you. And I promise you that it does. If you don't believe me, I'll bring my kids in here and I'll feed them lots of sugar and I'll be like, see ya! And you will see how much food affects cognitive ability, digestive function, all of your organs, your endocrine system, and not only your performance and recovery, but all of it. So it is your medicine, guys. And nutrition has to come in supplement form until you get out of the abyss, and then you can take over with lifestyle. But if you're here for any reason, if you have any aches or pains, you have any diagnoses, If you're overweight, you're depleted. You are depleted. And you need just to optimize what you need. And once you get what you need, your body will move forward then. Okay? So, keep going. The one thing I will talk about is the cognitive behavior. One of the things that I always struggled with clients was that they would lose all this weight. They look great, and they'd still think they were fat. The mind is one of the biggest strongholds that people have to overcome. And there's two types of people. People that think that they're never thin enough, and people that think that they're going to get sick again. Those are the people that I normally work with. We'll get through stage 4 colon cancer with them, and they'll constantly fear it's going to come back. So you can get beyond that, by just optimizing your health and learning to appreciate who you are as a person and your body and your structure. We're not supposed to all look the same. That would be super boring. I mean, why did you choose your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend? Because they look like everybody else? No. We all have different likes and needs. So you have to learn to shift your mind to appreciate where your body is today, because it's doing the damn best it can today. It really is. And tomorrow it can do better. And the day after that. But today you're doing awesome. You're still here. You're healthy. Give yourself some grace. Okay? And keep going. And keep learning. That's the biggest part of it. So, when we're looking at what to do, I tell people if you want to do it 1, 2, 3, the way we put these kits together, it was for a reason. You can do it 1, 2, 3. You can detoxify, nutrify. You can go and optimize that thermogenesis in your fat cells, and then boom, you can go into those branch chains. If you're beyond the first step, that's fine. But everybody needs a good, detox and multivitamin. If you're not taking a multivitamin every day, even the Journal of American Medical Association changed its position in 2004. And I'm sure your doctor told this because it's the most prestigious medical journal in the world. They said every person in the world needs a healthy diet and a multivitamin. JAMA, that was a miracle for them to say that. No doctor said a word. I just don't think they read it sometimes. I read it, I still read it. But all of these kits can be put in, and I know Gretchen has a little sign-up sheet out there that you can talk to her about where you are in your goals and what you need if you want to participate in something like that, if you want to take it. It's super easy. It'll fill gaps. There's also tons of other supplements out there. If you have questions about that, I'm happy to answer them for you. But I just want to let you know this is the first of many things that we'll be offering here. And that supplements are not mystical. They're not like a waste of money. There's a lot of science in our product. We use only patented, trademarked ingredients that have a lot of scientific research. I train functional medicine doctors all over the country. This is where everything's going. The beautiful thing is you don't have to pay a functional med doc $5,000 to $1,000 for an appointment. You can come ask Gretchen and her team what you need. And I promise you it is the same quality care because I've worked with a lot of doctors. So, next slide. I'm not done with doctors. I'm just kidding. So that's my contact information. My name's not Racy, it's Tracey. Just put a T in front of the R, and I spell it correctly like my BFF back there. Right there, girl. That's right. But you can contact me at Tracy@nutritionalfrontiers.com. You're welcome to send me an email, your questions. I do see clients if you have something private or extensive that you want to talk about, and I can do that virtually. I can also sacrifice myself and come back here. I will try. Yeah, you probably don't want to come to PA unless you like trees and fishing. But anybody have any questions? Go ahead.
This is silly, but what's chewing your, like you said, chew your
Mm-hmm. So when you chew, that motion stimulates your brain to start releasing something in your mouth.
Legitimately
Uh-huh, yeah. Like, do you want me to demonstrate the sound again? Go ahead. Anybody else? Go ahead.
What do you recommend for chronic Epstein-Barr?
EBV. I actually do a homeopathic protocol to take that out. We can talk after. Was it activated by Lyme or?
I caught COVID and I think it got reactivated.
You got activated, yeah. So we would do a homeopathic series kit that would be about a 4-month protocol. It's pretty simple. Yeah.
No other questions? Come on, you guys are not.
They're like, we just want shakes and go home.
Okay, so